My dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, the phrase "know thyself" is a maxim inscribed near the entrance to the temple of Apollo at Delphi, and it was the Greek philosopher Plato who said, "The essence of knowledge is self-knowledge." Today, the topic of self-awareness, self-knowledge, and personal identity occupy a special place in various branches of knowledge, including spirituality, philosophy, psychology, and other fields of human development. Who am I? And why am I doing what I am doing? These are two very important questions we ask ourselves and need to ask ourselves. When we answer these questions, we are exploring our identity and are clarifying for ourselves the ultimate purpose that drives all we do and say. In today's Gospel, the two questions are put to John the Baptist by the religious authorities. Who are you? And why are you doing what you are doing? Why are you baptizing? In answer to the first question, John began by declaring who he was not. I am not the Christ. I am not Elijah. I am not even a prophet. Having said who he was not, he attempts to say who he actually is. John declares himself to be the voice crying in the wilderness. He is not the Word. He is only the voice of the Word. Voice, we could say, is a servant of the Word. According to St. Augustine, the sound of my voice brings you to understand the Word. And when my voice has done this, it ceases. But the Word carried to you by the sound is now already in your heart. John saw himself as a voice proclaiming the Word which was with God and was God. He further says that he is not the light, but only a witness to the light. He only acts like a mirror, reflecting the light which falls on it. Later on, in the Gospel of John, using an image drawn from a wedding celebration, he would say, I am not the bridegroom. I am only the friend of the bridegroom who rejoices at the bridegroom's voice. When John was asked why he was doing what he was doing, why he was baptizing, he declared that he baptized to make known the one who stands among you, unknown to you. He did what he was doing to open people's eyes to the person standing among them, to the Messiah who was in their midst without their realizing it. There was a great light shining among them, and many were unaware of it, and John had come to bear witness to that light. John did what he did because of who he was. The answer to the question, why are you baptizing, flowed from the answer to the more fundamental question, who are you? In the first reading, Isaiah spoke of his identity and mission in the following words. The Lord has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to captives, and opening of the prison to those who are bound, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. Who are you? This is a question we can answer at many levels. We can simply give our name or give our surname. We can answer it by giving our professional qualifications or by naming the role or the position we have in life. Yes, these are the roles we play, but that's not who we really are. The deepest level, the most fundamental level at which we can answer these questions is the spiritual level. Who am I at the deepest, most spiritual level of my being. Who am I before God? Who is God calling me to be? What is my core identity? Both Prophet Isaiah and John the Baptist were conscious of who they were and what their mission was in the world. They saw themselves as servants, stewards, messengers, and witnesses. They articulate for us who each one of us sees in virtue of our baptism, who God is calling us to be. We are not the light. We know only too well the areas of darkness in our lives and in our hearts. However, like John the Baptist, we could be a witness to the light. Even though we are all far from perfect, we are nonetheless called to be a witness to Christ and stewards of good news like the prophet Isaiah. The Lord stands among us, but He remains unknown to many. Our calling is to make Him known, to allow Him to shine forth in our world through our lives. John used his voice to make known the light. We too are asked to use our voice to make Christ known. We do it with all the strength and talents that He has blessed us with. When we, for instance, use the gift of speech and writing to proclaim the person of Christ, His worldview, His values, and His attitudes, we allow the Lord to communicate Himself to the world through us. Who we are as witnesses to the light, as a voice for the word, shapes how we live and explains why we live the way we do. The answer to the question, who are you, grounds the answer to the question, why are you doing what you are doing? Advent is a time to become conscious of our fundamental identity, our Christ identity. If Jesus is to be born anywhere today, He will have to be born in each one of us. God bless us all.